Hey y'all, I'm Zoe Joyelle.
And I'm Alexis Simone.
And this is the Soundwaves Podcast,
where we dive deep into the rhythms and stories that shape our world.
Cheers, sister. Okay.
How y'all doing this week?
How's it been? How's it going?
We have another mocktail, the same one from last episode. If you did not see that episode, this is an Italiano Spritz. I don't even remember the flavor though.
It was like a lemon raspberry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, memory. Yeah. So we like this one. Our feedback and opinion on it was very good. Like it had this very upbeat. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit too sweet, but
I think it's called Fanky.
Yeah.
We're gonna start saying the brands.
It is what it is. The adaptogens in it though, like I said, were very potent. So we were feeling good, very giggly, and we're drinking it again today. So
let's do it. We just didn't like the first sip the first time because we don't usually like sweet stuff, and this definitely tastes like candy.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah, the lemon in it is pretty potent. That helps set it off a little bit. But all right, y'all. So today's icebreaker, we're doing a little fun, another game, this or that edition. She has not seen these.
I haven't.
So this will be very raw reactions, and yeah. Okay, so the first one is simple: female hip hop artists or versus female R&B singers.
R&B. What about you? Yeah.
For sure. I don't know, y'all. I'm not a huge fan of female rappers. I never have been. I know she's gonna say Nicki.
Yeah.
But I'm not even gonna lie. I was not listening to her like that.
Bobby.
I wasn't listening to her like that growing up. But I did like her music. She's like one of the few. Like I like some of Cardi B songs, but these like new female rappers, like I don't know their names.
Lotto's carrying the group.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
I like Lotto. I don't really listen to Glorilla. I know that's some of y'all girl. I don't listen to her like that. Yeah. And we used to listen to Megan a lot more. Yeah. But honestly, Megan don't get no stream time for me like that either.
Yeah. She was hot when we was in college though.
Yeah.
I'm just hot girl, so yeah.
I don't know. I'm more of a R&B, like, you know, seduce, intimacy kind of vibes. Like, I hear about love. Sing along. Facts. I'm not rapping. I'm out of breath.
Whoa. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so it's not even a female singer. Right. Okay, this one is for the guy. I mean, like, as far as like based on guys. So, would you prefer a dominant versus a submissive man?
Girl, why? When you said submissive, I just thought of a cat.
A cat is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, she don't want no puppy.
She want a big dog.
Yeah, don't play with me.
All right, so there you have it.
What about you?
Dominant for sure. I don't know. Submissive, it just gives like two girls in a relationship. Like,
I don't know what it gives, but I just feel like I be needing some guidance. I be needing someone to tell me to be quiet for a second.
Facts.
Like,
and lead us.
Yeah. And I need to know where we're going. Well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been with someone submissive, but I don't want to say that submissive. I don't even know what that means, a submissive man for real. Mm-hmm. But maybe they still have leader qualities. Maybe they just don't.
But they're submitting to you.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Exactly. It's not given. It's not given. Like I said, it's given two females.
Yeah.
All right. Third one is a foreign man versus an American man.
That's funny.
Sipsy.
Oh my gosh. Well, if I had to base it off my last almost 5 years of my life, I guess I'll say foreign.
Okay.
Foreign.
Period. I would say, I don't know. I guess I would say American. I mean, none of us are truly American, you know.
Here she goes.
But I would say American, just based off my experience.
Okay.
Last one. This is kind of for our Love Island watchers.
Yay.
Are you a slow burner or like immediately with the intimacy?
Dang, that's like two very drastic differences.
They are.
I would say at this age, like if I was getting to know someone new, I would probably be a slow burn for sure.
Yeah.
I do think, like on Love Island, there's a different range of 20s going on in there. Like you have literally 22-year-olds in there, and then you have some 26, almost 27-year-olds. So, and when you think about it, the slow burners are the 26, 27-year-olds, and the faster ones are the younger ones.
Yeah.
So I do think that at a time, there was a time, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I would say a slow burner. especially like getting to know somebody. I would like to get to know you, your personality, your character. And intimacy can be fooling sometimes. Like if we just automatically drop the intimate cuddling or kissing and things like that. I'm not talking about sex. But those other intimate aspects, like I feel like you don't really, sometimes you're blinded and you don't really get to see the person as who they are just yet without including all those factors. And sometimes that ladies, that's how we start missing those red flags because we're so caught up in how they make us feel physically, and then it starts playing on our heart, which is emotionally, and now we're just all wrapped up in this bubble and you don't really know him yet.
Right. And you know, like physical touch and stuff is actually good for us, like hugs. They say that relieves like
stress,
anxiety. Yeah, like it has a physical change on us. So if you giving someone the power to help you in that way, you might actually need that. But if you're doing it too soon with the wrong person, you'll think that you're like in love with them or something, and it might not be that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a cute little this or that. Okay.
Period.
So today we're gonna get a little deeper than our icebreaker. We're gonna be talking about people pleasing, the root of it, and how we can get out of it if that's somewhere that you are currently in your life. So for the first question, we just want to know, like, what do you think the root of people pleasing is? And for those that are watching, I would love for you to also comment down what you think it is. Are you a people pleaser? Do you know people pleasers? And also like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
As always. Okay, so let's see what the definition
we're gonna define it for you guys.
People pleasing is. Let me go to it.
You know, we're pro define words instead of just throwing them out there. You know.
Right.
Y'all know
what
I
gotta know.
That.
You gotta have your actual knowledge.
I want a little teacher stick.
Ooh, give me an audio teacher. Okay, so people pleasing is the compulsion to gain approval at the expense of your values, truth, or well-being. It often masquerades as kindness, but stems from fear, insecurity, or the need to control how others see us. Wow. And so they put a Bible verse with it, and it says, "The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe." That's Proverbs.
Amen.
So back to the question of what do we think, like what do I think the root of people pleasing is? I think that it comes from receiving affirmation and gratitude like in your childhood and liking that. And also I think it stems from maybe it being a time in your life where you probably like showed a little bit of who you were and did not get the response or reaction that you wanted, and so then you see what does like make that person like drawn to you or spike an interest in you. And so then you just keep pushing that out. Like you just keep pushing that narrative of yourself out, which is still it may still be a part of you, but it's not like your true authentic self. But you saw that that's what that like them, like that's what interests them in you or something like that. And so that's what you keep doing. And I think it's just like comes from like a series of patterns of maybe experiencing that and wanting to consistently feel that, like how it said, the control of how people see you.
Yeah.
Like for example, I think like growing up with parents who are just like not as emotionally involved and stuff like that, once I did something or saw something that did get me some type of attention, I was like, well, I like that, I'm gonna keep doing that. Like this is what got them to pay attention or, you know, give me some type of thing I was craving or desiring from a parent, and so I'm just gonna keep doing it. And then that just carried on like within my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that you gave your personal experience also, because I do think that the root is the same thing, like it comes from childhood. The same way we might clap like, oh, good job, like it's nothing wrong with that, duh, we're supposed to you know, be happy that our kids are doing certain things. But I do think at a certain age, another root could be you're uncomfortable with disapproval. You don't want to be outcasted. No one does. Like, the more that I'm even building this relationship with God, I'm like, we all need love. Like, the times that I'm not being intimate in the Word, I can feel a difference in my energy. And then I read it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm having a way better day. But I think, like, we all need love. So those feelings of being uncomfortable and not being loved or not being liked, or you can't make it into the friend group, like those, you know, those moments in elementary school and stuff like that, that's when you decide, are you going to be you, or are you going to fake it till you make it? And that is when it gets a little bit scary, because that's when it becomes like manipulative and stuff like that. But I definitely think it's childhood. I think I have a different experience as a kid. Like, I definitely had moments where I was feeling outcasted. Like, y'all see these teeth? I had had braces 2 times in my life. When I was a kid, I had some buck teeth, and they used to be on me. They used to be like, you look like SpongeBob with those goofy, like, they was on me. Squirrels,
kids is mean.
All types of stuff. But my mom and my dad, they had a whole different attitude. But I feel like I just became like that. Like, I had to become like that. Because I used to be sad. But they used to be like, who gives a, you don't know the people, da-da-da-da. So it kind of like, okay, like, it's just an affirmation, like, continuously hearing, like, you do not know those people, like, who cares, da-da-da. So I think I kind of was like, okay, everybody's not going to like me. Everybody's not going to have positive things to say about me. And that's not to say I went my whole life not being affected by it, but that was my different upbringing.
Yeah.
And then, when, like I said, it does become manipulative at some point, so when do you think it becomes manipulative?
I'm still figuring that out. Because sometimes when I'm like having conversations and stuff like that, and somebody points out like, oh, that was manipulative, I was completely unaware in that moment that what I was saying as a response or reaction to something in a conversation, that was manipulative. Like, I was like, oh crap, like I didn't even realize that was manipulative. I wasn't really trying to do that. I'm consistently being called out of when I am controlling or like using something I'm doing as controlling, because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like second nature for me at this point. Like, I'll just be doing something and they'll be like, oh, that's controlling, like you're using that control, and I'm like, but that was never my intention. So I think with awareness, I think that it starts to become manipulation when, kind of similar to what I said, that this is what you just start pushing out as who you are, when really you have like 5 other aspects of yourself that nobody gets to see, because you like, this is what people like.
Yeah.
This is what gets them to like me. So like, for example, with relationships and stuff like that, I think it starts to become manipulation when you're like dating somebody and you're like, oh, I know that they really like this, so I'm just always going to do this. And it kind of becomes control when you're like, I did this for you. I know that you like this, so why aren't you reciprocating, or why aren't you liking me the same? Because I know this is what will get you. And then they're like, but I have also these other parts of me that you're kind of neglecting because this is what you just think I only want of you. So I'm still, if I'm being honest though, I'm still figuring out within myself how it becomes manipulation, because y'all, I don't know, like I don't even be realizing I'm manipulating somebody or using something as a control tactic, because it's just,
I think intention matters the most.
Yeah, and it's never my intention, but
yeah, I think intention matters a lot. Like, even she brought up Love Island, and I'm just seeing how harsh people judge people online and quickly trying to categorize people like, oh, he's this, she's that. And not even just Love Island, but like, I've had 2 viral posts on Threads so far, and y'all can keep it. I ended up deleting one because it was just getting way too negative, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm afraid of these people. I was like, I don't want to scroll on my page that I'm curating, and it's something that's so negative, so I just ended up deleting it. But I'm like, intention matters so much, because we don't know those people on TV, or like you're dating someone and maybe yes, they felt like you were manipulating them, but it really could be an unaware, like, oh, I didn't realize that that's how it was actually playing out. Like, I was actually just in my emotions or whatever, however it is, because at some point I like to say, like, you are a victim in the things that you feel like you were a victim in, but at some point you have to stand in. You can't just always be a victim. Like, you're gonna have to be a thoughtful, considerate person. You can't just always be the victim of every situation.
Right.
But yeah, I think intention matters. So I think it becomes manipulative when you know and you're doing it for an outcome. Like, you know that you're doing this for an outcome. You know how people are going to react if you present this way, or even in dating, if a man's acting like he got all of this stuff, his car is rented, and that's manipulation. Like, you literally doing this intentionally. So I think that is when it becomes manipulation for sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. I have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, because I think we be too quick to judge people like, oh wow, they're such a narcissist. Oh my god, they're so evil. It's like, bro, sometimes we're doing stuff and we don't necessarily know that it's affecting people a certain kind of way. And I'm not saying that means don't be accountable, but like, take the time to explain how it's affecting you versus just calling somebody something so fast.
Because it is just a defense mechanism of what they're feeling as well. And are just like patterns of how they like grew up and stuff like that. But like, yes, take accountability, because you cannot continuously just do that and go with your life of being unaware and just cruising on by like it's not affecting people, because it does. and you have to be accountable in that.
And we have to realize that we're living in survival in some way or another, like emotionally, financially, whatever kind of way. So like when it comes to those emotional things, I definitely do think that as adults, especially young adults, we ain't been here that long.
Yeah.
But as growing adults, like we're still learning what we need to clean up and stuff like that. So I just think people should be a little bit slower to judge and put people in these freaking psychotic categories.
Facts.
And stuff. Like they be ODing.
This makes me want to tell like a quick story time though, because I promise this is an example, y'all. I didn't realize this was control. Okay. I just know that it was maybe a little petty. So I was cooking for my partner, and he wasn't home, and I wanted him to come home, but he was out living his life, best life. Okay, cool. So at the end of the day, I just decided to put the food up, and put it in like the fridge, whatever. I think I put it in the oven or fridge, and I just like put it in the Tupperware, all that good stuff. And I texted him and was like, "Oh yeah, you might want to like grab some food on the way home because there's no food here."
What?
I was lying. Like yes, there's food here. Like I cooked and everything, but you out. So I'm just like, I'm not like, you're not gonna come home. We don't have a microwave. I haven't had a microwave in my home for like 3 or 4 years.
Period, healthy mom.
So the only way to warm it up is dang on near the oven. We use the air fryer sometimes, but it's primarily the oven. So I'm like, I'm not about to like get back out of bed, reheat this food up. Like, no, like you should have came home. That's how my thought process was in the moment, y'all. So he came home and didn't have any food. Like he didn't grab no food.
But did he respond when you said that?
He was just like, okay. But he didn't grab any food, and I didn't tell him there was any food until the next morning. And I was like, oh yeah, like there's some food in the fridge. And he was like, wait, but I thought there was no food here. And I was like, I just didn't feel like reading.
And you see, I don't live with a man, so sometimes the shit she be doing, I be like, what? But why do you have to reheat it? Why can't he make his plate?
So I didn't want him to make his plate because I didn't want no more dishes in the sink.
And he can clean it. It's like, what is going on here? I don't know if she's controlling in that manner or I'm not going to do as much as she is, because you can make your plate. You can heat it up and you can clean it. What are you talking about?
I literally had cleaned the whole kitchen. I did not want anybody else in the kitchen.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. But he's not going to clean the plate, bro?
He will. He'll clean the
dish.
But like I wanted... And I always make jokes at this, but at this point, I probably do need it. I be wanting like a kitchen is closed sign, because like
you're crazy.
I don't want nobody else.
If you clean up behind yourself, what the heck?
It's not gonna be as clean as I did it though.
Yeah, she's crazy. I don't know where we're going
anymore. I was told that this was controlling and manipulative, and I mean like I didn't think of it as that. I thought if anything, yes, I was lying. So maybe liar was more suffice.
Yo.
But I didn't think I was manipulative.
I don't know how it's manipulative, but it was lying.
I was told
controlling.
It was controlling. It was controlling, because he was like, you just wanted me to come home. That was your way of thinking that I was gonna come home in that moment.
But why? Why would you come home? If you told me it's no food, it's actually, now you wanting me to come home, it's going to take me 2 additional hours to figure out what I want to eat,
and then
clean my mouth and come home, because that was not going to work on me.
It was just stupid all around. But I got read that entire morning of being controlling, and he was just so mind blown that I would go to that extent to lie that there was no food here.
Right.
Just because I wanted him to come home, and 2, I didn't want him in the kitchen no more.
And that's crazy. The no kitchen shit is crazy, bro.
I've grown.
I hope.
It's not, I mean.
Because you're talking about I didn't want to clean it, I didn't want to make the plate. He is a grown man.
He is, but I didn't want nobody else in the kitchen. But I've grown, okay? At this point, I don't do stuff like that no more, right? Because, it was brought to my awareness that I was crazy. And I don't do stuff like that no more.
Amen.
Bro, see, there's the accountability part of it. But, like I said, this was just a natural reaction of, like, I didn't know that was controlling. Like, my intent was not really to control you. I did really just want you to come home.
You was just salty that he was out.
Yeah, that was it. But yeah, so I'm still working on the control aspect. But I don't do stuff like that no more. Like, please, by all means, go in the kitchen and eat 50 million snacks and all that if you need to. Just make sure you clean up behind yourself. But at that moment in time, I was like, this whole kitchen has been swept, wiped down. Do not step foot in here again.
Crazy.
Lord help me. The Lord is working. Okay, so do you think there is a correlation between people pleasing and shame? And then I'm just going to read the quick definition of what shame is.
Okay.
For our knowledge, shame is a feeling of embarrassment or humiliation that arises from the perception of having done something dishonorable, immoral, or improper. People who experience shame usually try to hide the thing they feel ashamed of.
Yeah, so is there a correlation between the people pleasing and shame? Yeah. So I feel like it's similar to when I was saying, like, you don't want that feeling of not being accepted. Mm-hmm. Especially as a kid, like, because I think of that as the root. So maybe you're being bullied or being made fun of, or like you was in a friend group and then you guys are growing apart, but you want to stay in the friend group. You don't like that they are disagreeing with you. So yeah, I definitely think shame is definitely related to it. And that's why I can keep relating it to childhood experiences. I know that people pleasing still comes up now. Like, you want to be accepted. That's really what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, my answer is yes.
Yes, I would agree. I do think there is a correlation between shame and people pleasing. I just think back to everything stems from childhood. Like, of course, we're adults now, but there's like studies and books and everything. Like, the first 5 years of your life is very important. Very important for development, but also like personality development and love languages and all the things. Trauma. So much happens in your life as a child, and so that shapes who you are as an adult, which is why we do keep bringing up childhood. So I do think shame, when you feel shame, it's a terrible feeling. Like, if you've ever felt shame, which I'm pretty sure everyone watching has at some point in their life, it's a terrible feeling, and it's actually ungodly. Like, you're not supposed to feel shame. You're not supposed to shame yourself or others. And when you feel it, you're going to do, as a defense, you're going to do anything in your power not to feel that way again because of how bad it felt. And so for whatever reason that you felt shame, you weren't picked for a certain club or some type of form of rejection, even as you're dating and navigating through your early 20s, you know, he didn't like you the same, or he cheated on you and stuff like that. And so you're so ashamed of how much you poured into the relationship and how you treated somebody over yourself and things like that. Then you start moving forward like, well, now I know what can have, like, what will benefit me in relationships, and so I'm just always going to do that. And that's that correlation. And so at the end of the day, I do think people pleasing just makes you stray away from who you truly are, your authentic self, like who God made you to be. And when you put shame in there, it makes it so hard. Like, you're just digging the wound like deeper and deeper and deeper because you're already hurt by something, but then you add shame on top of it. And so now you're talking to yourself negatively, making yourself feel worse, and then I'm just trying to avoid the avoidance of ever feeling like that again. Causes the people pleasing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
It is. Okay. What do you think the road out of people pleasing looks like? So we just talked about the root correlation between that and shame, you know. So what do you think?
The road out of it.
The road out of it.
The road out of it is definitely thinking about that root for you, like where it came from. Sometimes I do think that trauma can affect our memory, so that has been a thing for me for sure. But I've been able to fix it. It sounds so silly saying that, but I think
your memory has improved a lot.
Thank you.
It has.
Thank you. I was blacking out in college.
That's another story.
Finding the root. I think also you have to let go of that attachment to approval. Like, your authenticity has to be way more important than being approved by others. Like, when she gave the example of like you showing a certain part of yourself and maybe you end up getting cheated on or you're rejected, you have to accept that truth. So accepting that certain things are not for you. Everything does not have to be for you. There's so many people in the world, so many niches in this world, so many communities. So you have to be okay that everything is not for you. Don't be selfish and like entitled to everyone needs to approve you and stuff like that. So definitely being mindful of how you react to rejection. And that's for all of us, because it hurts at the end of the day. But I think we have to have a brighter mind, like there's a brighter side to it. Okay, that was a no, I'm closer to my authentic yes. So being okay with rejection because it's not for you, but knowing that there are people and places and things out there that is for you. Healing that root and forgiving people, whether that's your mama, your daddy, your ex, whoever that is. And you don't even have to have a conversation with people sometimes, because if it is your ex, don't hit him up.
Right.
But just forgive, like journal and let it go, and you really have to accept yourself first. Because if you don't accept yourself, you're gonna keep wanting other people to accept you, compliment you, and all the different things. So yes.
Yeah, I would agree. Figure out what the root is and then heal it. The need for constant approval is an ever-ending cycle if you do not get out of it, because whatever environment you place yourself in, you'll find yourself doing the same exact thing with a whole new group of people, whether that's a new job or a new friend group and things like that, because that is just the habit and pattern you've built. So once you identify the root and then work on healing it, it should make it a lot easier for you to no longer seek out or care about the approval from others. It is hard to accept rejection. It's so hard, because you be like, dang, especially if it's something that you really wanted. Yeah. It's hard, but you have to remember, like how she said, it's so many things out there, so many people out there. It's something for everybody. And so look at it as a blessing, that the rejection is a blessing. Mm-hmm. There was a reason why it was denied to you, and you have to accept that and move on. And it's so funny because like working with kids with special needs like autism and stuff like that, like denied access is something that sets them off to the extreme. And if you think about it, it's kind of similar to adults. Like, for example, I could be working with a child and you deny that they can play with this certain toy. Next thing you know, they're having a tantrum for the last 30 minutes because they couldn't. If you think about it, like adults do the same thing. Like maybe the job, you were denied the job or denied the acceptance into school, and so now you're like pouting about it. Or you're self-sabotaging, like, oh, maybe this is no longer for me, and this and that, instead of like continuously trying to get to that end goal. And so you have to just be aware and conscious of things like that. But then also like what this says, where it says recognize people-pleasing as a coping strategy. So it goes back to healing that wound. And then repent for human, like idolizing human opinion, which we talked about idolizing last week. Y'all gave a definition of that. It's so heavy.
But that's a good one, because people do that. Yeah, people will get famous and create this big platform and all that, and they still be unhappy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And then it says, ask God to renew your mind and anchor your worth in Him. That's Romans chapter 12. And then heal the wound that drives the need for constant approval.
Yeah.
You have to heal it, because if not, like you'll just continuously be in it. And it's seeking God. Like once you seek, the only approval you need is from God. Nobody else's opinion will matter. Mm-hmm. Nobody else's opinion will matter. And so, and then you'll just find yourself being aligned with more people that you're supposed to be with anyway. Like it just will all come together and be great.
Yeah.
Because I've been cheating on y'all, and if I really cared about that man's opinion and stuff like that, and he like hood girls and all these things, and all these different things, and I just curated myself to be that and people please in that extent, I would be a whole different person out here.
Right. And it makes me think about when me and her were both exploring communities in college, and we were like realizing like, wow, certain people, or based on what the community is, like you feel shy or you're not sure how much you should put yourself out there. But a question I asked both of us, I was like, who are you if you change in every room? Like you're literally going to continue to be swayed and swayed and swayed. You have to be grounded.
You're going to be a shapeshifter.
Yeah, and it has to be exhausting.
Yeah.
So find that grounded, get within and get out there.
Honestly, like becoming like more grown and adult and being somebody who used to people please and, you know, taking that day-to-day action to not, I feel like it adds a little bit more exclusiveness to yourself.
In fact, because why? I feel like that might be crazy too. Like maybe we would need a therapist to get into that part, but like, why do you need everybody to approve you? That's crazy.
Because like you grew up with nobody approving you. And so you just really want that feeling of acceptance. And it will drive you crazy.
Facts. Okay, so now we're going to get into our moment.
Let's get
Just imagine the moment coming up on the screen. Don't worry, we're working on it.
Cheers.
But this moment is a Love Island moment. If you're not a Love Island watcher, it's okay. But I'm pretty sure if you're around the same age as us, you've seen some Love Island clips or some Love Island captions. They have Love Island watch parties at this point.
Right.
So what was your favorite Love Island moment?
Okay.
Who was your favorite person?
Okay.
And what was your least favorite moment?
My favorite person is like 2. I love Sierra.
Okay.
I was a big fan of Olandria and Shelly too, but I don't know, Sierra, she just sticks out a little bit more to me. Olandria is beautiful. Shelly is a little bit more, she's beautiful as well, but she's a little bit more quiet. So I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more drawn to Sierra right now. A favorite Love Island moment, I think, is so toxic. But honestly, I loved when Jeremiah and Huda was like going at it.
Period.
But let's give a disclaimer. I think as much as Huda was calling him the B word, she really wanted to call that man the N word. I feel like she wanted to say nigga instead of bitch.
But I feel like when women are mad, they want to say the B word.
I don't know. For me, the way she just kept saying it, I'm like, she really want to call him a like,
I don't know. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
But I love that moment because I just felt the passion in this. And I don't know. I'm a Jeremiah stan for Huda. I honestly didn't think that they were going to work it out and stuff like that. And it was toxic.
She was a lot.
She was a lot, but she's not a lot for anybody else.
I don't know what's going on. But
not
talking
yet.
about life looks like us living together, like, bro, it's been 2 weeks.
She was feeling
like, if you think about it outside of a show,
it is
talking about living with somebody and all that, like, she was doing too much.
Even the way they've been clearing on.
I feel like, I don't think it was going to work even if he stayed on, because when she started saying stuff like that, he was like, oh, like, this is going too far. Like, she's out of here.
She's a little throw.
Yeah.
But it was exciting.
It was. And that was the thing.
It was exciting. And
least favorite person. Wait, did I say
no,
that?
least favorite moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My least favorite moment, I don't know. I guess I feel like society, like America would say when they voted Alandria off, or like when she like didn't get a match, so she had to leave. But honestly, since they brought her back, it was like, so.
If you don't have one, that's okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I have one.
Okay. All right, then I'll start with that one since you didn't answer.
Oh, I do have one.
Okay, go ahead.
When Austin was talking about Amaya behind her back.
Oh, yeah.
After he chose her. And it was just like, what's the point of that? Like, that's so messy to me. Like, you could have been real with her to her face and been like, honestly, this is moving a little bit too fast for me. Like, all the things that Ace was complaining about with her, he all of a sudden felt the same way. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh. And then also when Ace and them voted Jeremiah off, I felt that was very childish and jealous of him.
That was my least favorite. After they voted him off, I really don't care how this show goes. Now I'm just watching it for entertainment.
Yeah.
I saw when people were judging Austin. I definitely understand them saying like he should have said something. I also think that people just have these high expectations for these strangers, and y'all know damn well there's been situations where you go home or you text your bestie and you say a bunch of stuff that you didn't say to someone in real life.
That's true.
That's what I be looking at, like the show versus like social media. I be like, y'all be judging these people as if y'all are the most boldest, bravest, best communicators. It's like, no, you're not, bro. Like, you know, you've been in conversations where you might have kept some things to yourself because you wasn't comfortable saying it yet. So just be for real. That's all I would say when it comes to judging these strangers that we don't know.
Be mindful.
Yeah. So my favorite person is I think my favorite person is Nick. I feel like he's very entertaining. I love that he doesn't mind telling the truth, even if he has to take his time. Like, yeah, I was thinking like, and he really just be telling people the truth. Yeah. I feel like for the most part. I think another least favorite, since we both said Jeremiah thing, I would say, honestly, I wasn't a fan of how they kept how they were able to vote people back into the house. Like, why did they keep doing that over and over again? Like, Nick and Olindria got voted off, bring them back again. Then she didn't get picked in the recoupling, voted her back on. It's like, let it go. It's like, oh, okay. Like, and y'all probably hate me for this, but just because you are attracted to someone doesn't mean this stranger has to be attracted to them. No. I think Taylor was wrong for not telling her. That's what he was wrong for. But everybody's like, oh my God, are you crazy? Why you don't like her? We don't all like the same people. That's like me and her. Like, you sure you don't like that man? Like, girl.
I don't.
I don't. I don't even know if I'm answering the questions, but favorite person, Nick. Favorite moment.
Oh yeah, I think that's the last one because you did 2 of your least.
Favorite moment. It gotta be something funny.
Huda and Jeremiah was time.
Yeah, they were.
It was so entertaining.
I would just say it was fun watching the Meg Thee Stallion episode because I can't think of a
That was
moment.
fun.
That was fun.
It was
It brought
cute.
them back into like, okay, this is a game, like let's have fun. So that's
And
what I
honestly, it's been like 2 episodes. They ain't did no game. Oh, they did the kissing challenge.
They always doing it.
They always kissing. Okay.
So, we wanted to end the episode on a lighthearted, moment because that was a lot. So if you can relate to any of that, we definitely want to hear what you have to say. Share it to your bestie, your mama, your sister, your brother, who cares? Share it to everybody. And yeah, anything else, sister?
Tell them to stop people pleasing and see God.
Right. So, well, that's it. Thanks for riding away with us.
We'll see y'all next week. Same time, same vibe.
Bye. Bye.